Kalimera or Kalispera or whichever part of the day you're watching this. Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Greece is having a national final with more than one artist for the first time since 2015, if I'm not wrong. Very exciting show. We're already looking forward to it, I guess. David, you especially?
Yeah, no, I am really looking forward to this. So, Greek national finals, whether they're in shopping centres, car parks, TV studios, are always fantastic. And I think this lineup's really diverse and exciting. So, it is a bit of tale of two sides, which I'm sure we'll hear about shortly. I think half the songs are fantastic, like actually top tier fantastic, and half the songs are pretty awful. So, I think next year they could maybe do cutting it down to maybe a final six. But we don't want people to be disqualified. We don't want people to drop out. So I'm glad they've got 12 as a bit of a buffer so that the show does go ahead. Yeah, really, really looking forward to it. How about you, Nicola?
I'm also really excited for it because of the fact that, as Ervin mentioned, we haven't had a Greek national final for the last 10 years. And I love the songs in Greek language, and I'm happy for the fact that we are having an opportunity to hear many of them in the national final. So I'm very excited for the breeze of Greek culture and tradition being brought with this national final, and definitely, as you said, David, there are some of the songs which I very much enjoy listening to, and on the other hand, there are some which just didn't make a full-on impression on me, but I'm very, very, very invested in it and hope for the best results, and we will see what will happen in the national selection. Also excited for the stage and for the performances as well, because Greek people are known for people who know how to live up to the arenas and to the stage and to the audience and bring the energy down.
Yeah, and I'd just like to give a shout out because I never got to at the time. You mentioned the last Greek national final in 2015, the greatest national final song of the 21st century, of course, Jazz and Sataki by Tome Apergi and Legend. Like, that is the level we need to be going for. And these guys are doing a good job. So yeah, we'll get into it, but I'm starting in a good place and I just love Greece.
I
I
don't think
love
we
the
actually reached the level of Jazz Kesirtaki this year, but I mean, that's just my personal opinion. However, I'm super excited
Well,
that
well, nothing
Greece
is
is.
ever going to. It's the best national final song of the 21st century, I just said.
Fair enough, fair enough. But yeah, I'm excited that Greece is once again having a national selection and that they're actually going to have their own audience have a say on who they're actually sending to Eurovision, which is quite a change to like the last 10 years. So yeah. But anyways, let's start then with the first song, which is going to be Sirens, performed by Barbz. David, let's start with you.
Yeah, happy to be talking about this one. So this song is not what I'd expected from Greece, admittedly. It sounds very British. It sounds very kind of British music industry, Ella Air, your type of like not mainstream pop music, but that kind of more Claire Maguire, Ella Air, vocally Bo Anderson type people that are quite vocally unique and don't necessarily get the mainstream success that they deserve, but are really solid kind of album producers and kind of sleeper hit style. This song is exactly what I want the UK to send to Eurovision. So if Greece do not choose it, I think we should get it kind of donated to us, give it to a really strong vocalist, and let's go. This song sounds like a Eurovision winner. I'll be honest. I know maybe I'm starting high, but honestly, I this song probably for me first time since maybe Mon Selma Love. Actually, no, 1944 was the last time I heard this. I heard the song for the first time, and holy crap, that could win Eurovision. Um, that the last time I had that from a national final song was definitely 1944, so all the way back in 2016. Um, this song it builds fantastically. Her voice, if she can perform it to the way that it's done in the studio version, then it's going to be absolutely incredible. I imagine sensational. Um, I think they could maybe do with a bit more lift, maybe towards the end for the Sirens. But if this song was sung by Loreen, I don't think there'd be any question that people would think that this would win Eurovision. Um, Theoretically, do so. Enthusiastic about this, really, really love it. Dreading to see what someone's going to say about it now, but yeah, no, big fan, big fan.
I'm just thinking it's really interesting that you said it sounded British because the note that I've taken is she has an interesting, quirky voice like Paloma Faith. So, I mean, it doesn't get more British indie than that. I mean, I do see what you mean about like, it is a very danceable beat. It is sort of you could definitely see it on a Eurovision stage, and she has a lot of stage experience. She competed at America's Got Talent when she was 13, so she's done well for herself. And you can kind of sense the American influence as well in the sort of the pop style. I think the thing that, well, two things bug me about this. One, she can't enunciate. There is one line that is never correctly written on any lyric site. I've looked at every lyric site. I can't tell what she's saying. I think she's saying, I hear the sigh of waves, but I can't confirm that because they're not written down anywhere and nobody's been able to discern that. So that bugs me slightly. And secondly, maybe this is one for the UK, because I think Greece is one of those countries where people kind of want it to sound like Greece because they know a bit about what Greek music sounds like and they have a rich background, and I don't really think this taps into it. So yeah, maybe if the UK want it, they can take it. But yeah, where's Paloma Faith when you need her?
I just looked up and there are lyrics on genius.com of Siren, but I'm not entirely sure where to look for that particular line, but we can check that afterwards.
It's in the chorus. They're not correct. They just sort of cut off in the middle. I'm sure somebody will clarify, or maybe somebody in the comments will let us know. But yeah.
Let us know down below. In the meantime, David, out of 10.
Yeah, just because my only fear is that it's not Greek enough, I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Joe?
I've given this a 7.
Nicola?
8.
I think it might be the British thing for me that just didn't resonate, so it's a 5 for me.
Oh, usually British stuff really resonates with you. That's surprising.
Not this time. Let's continue with Thanos Lambrou and Free Love. Nicola, let's start with you.
I mean, usually the music which was done in this kind of genre is something which I like to listen, but repetition of Free Love and kind of too much of those kind of lyrics, and also the beat, as much as I like the beat, the lyrics are off-putting for me. And it's a bit too repetitive. And as I said, it's ironic because I usually would be grabbing for the songs like this one. At one point, the song reminds me a bit, I mean, a part with the guitars, like one riff or something, reminds me a bit of Sweet Child of Mine. I mean, maybe that's just the impression I got from it, or anyhow, I mean, I just literally would be hooked to the songs like this, but in general, too repetitive and too much kind of fake positivism with like free love, let's love each other, la la la. And then on the other hand, you have something completely different. And I don't know, somehow the personality of his and the song are, I don't know, not going well together for me. And it just that didn't sit right in general. So maybe I need to wait for the performance and to see, and maybe something changed. But until that time, it's not a song I'm very much enjoying from this national selection.
I mean, I didn't take such a deep dive into the lyrics, and I normally don't, unless...
Clues and Ervin.
Yeah, but I mean, unless the lyrics are really, really amazing, or there's something really, really off about them, like that Spanish song, Mi Casa, that we spoke about yesterday, I don't really pay that much attention to it, and that didn't bother me. And I also, like, I prefer listening to rock music in general, and this is pretty much like old-style rock, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just a little bit too basic for me. Like, I can see what they were trying to do and, like, the build-up that they made, but they just didn't really reach the peak that I felt like they wanted to. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, if they set the stage on fire and they bring some amazing energy, I'll definitely be more into it. But for now, as like a studio version with just like a background image, it's, I don't know, it's just a little bit above average for me. It's decent, but yeah, I don't know. Out of 10, Nicola.
5.
For me, it's a 6. David?
Thanos is fit. He is hot, which is why I will give it a 2 out of 10.
Oh, what? You're voting with your eyes there, but obviously not.
Neither of those points is for the song. Let's just get that straight.
We all have our own ways of voting. Let's just put it that way. Joe?
Is that for his 2 biceps or what? Yeah. So this absolutely it fills the national final cliche of old rocker who thinks that he's headlining Coachella. So all right, don't let him in at the free bar. I'll give him a 6.
That is 19 for Thanos Lambrou. Let's continue with Dinamiss and Odyssey. I hope I pronounced it correctly. David?
Yeah, so this song kind of caught my attention. It's not one of my favorites, but I appreciate there being in the selection. I don't want it to win, but I'm looking forward to the stage performance. I'm looking to just having a song like this on a national final stage. It's a little bit messy. It kind of goes down a long roller coaster of journey of different kind of vibes, energy, tempo, beat. There's a bit of rap type spoken word quickly in there. There's a bit more kind of ethnic vocals. Then you've got like this intense, super cool, somewhat 2000s dance beat in there. This is the summer. It's not necessarily for Eurovision, but if I was in Greece, if I was on an island or a beach somewhere, then I would love to listen to this on repeat. Yeah, great entry for a national final, but not a great entry for Eurovision.
I mean, on the other hand, like as you said, it's a mixture of 3 or more different genres, and the song has too many layers which I don't find necessary there. So it gives us a rap, it gives us a bit of a kind of techno EDM vibe. Also, at one point in the end, there are the traditional ethnic like sounds and vocals and everything, and it sounds a bit creepy to me. I mean, it's kind of grabbing my attention because of the dynamics which it has, but on the other hand, it's not necessarily a song which I would really much enjoy listening to again and again. On the other hand, as I mentioned, the song kind of asks you to listen to it multiple times in order for it to captivate you fully.
David, out of 10?
I'll give it a 7.
Joe?
Groups of sisters always freak me out, but I'm still giving it a 7.
Nicola?
A 6.
It's a 7 for me as well for this one. And that's 27, which puts Dinamiss in second place right now.
God, that would have put her in second overall in the Spanish one, I think.
Probably.
Christ.
Let's continue with Nafsica Gavrilaki and Unhurt Me. Joe?
Okay, so again, we've got some American influence here. So Nafsica is based in New York. You can tell this song is quite Western influenced. It is a fairly run-of-the-mill female ballad, the sort of song that you'd probably expect Sephora to perform in the early 2010s. Like it's very sort of that era of Eurovision coded, and like has not really progressed from beyond then. It's like she just stopped watching 2011 or whatever. Not that she probably takes Eurovision as an influence for her songs, but like, you know, she did this for a reason. There is room for an interesting staging concept here if it gets that far. I think, like, you know, we've had sort of very simple songs in the past that have had like a, I don't know, a sand artist or like a big globe or something, but like I don't know what the parameters of the Greek stage will be, but I don't think they'll be accommodating that. So that's probably a pipe dream as well. If it goes early in the show, it's probably going to fade into the background. The guy in the song sounds awful, and I think she's better off without him. But like, there are some nice lyrical gems in there, so I'm kind of on board with it. But yeah, it's tickling my fancy enough.
See, I think that if Sephora would listen to this song, she would probably have rejected it, and she'd be right to do so. Even though it's like a perfectly pleasant ballad, I always say that if you come with a ballad, it needs to have that something that like that's gonna make it absolutely stand out, and this one just doesn't have that. It's perfectly nice to listen to. There's nothing offensive about it or anything like that. If it came on the radio, for example, like if I heard it, I probably wouldn't change the station, but I wouldn't look up the song, I wouldn't look up the singer, and I would definitely not choose to actually play it by choice. For what it is, it's nice, but that's all. It's something that like we've heard so many times before, and it's something that we're still gonna hear so many times. There's just nothing like grabbing me about it whatsoever. Sorry. Out of 10, Joe.
It's a 7 again.
Nicola?
5.
It's going to be a 5 for me as well. David?
Cheese and pickle, basic. It's a 5.
22 points for Nafsica. And then Nicolas is next with Lost My Way. Nicola?
I think he definitely lost his way, especially with the background sound which appears at one point, and it's getting quite annoying and irritating to listen to it. I mean, I kind of have a feeling that they went, they wanted to go with the vibe of Daj mi ljubovta or something like that, but I do believe that in Daj mi ljubovta, the sound was way better implemented in the song as well. Unlike Lost My Way, because the sound completely lost its way around, and the song is very basic and very bland, and I don't have any kind of good vibes with it and impressions, even though he kind of has a moment that tries too hard to make a big song out of it. But as I said, I'm really not invested in it and not interested in it. So it's one of the songs which I kind of want to pass from the selection, and I will be covering the attention for some other. Maybe he will do a nice performance, but I don't believe so.
I'm honest. I was just surprised to see a guy in the Greek selection called Andy Nicolas. Like I was thinking, talk about lost my way. Like you're in the wrong selection, mate. Eurovision you decide ended in 2019, but no, it turns out his real name is, get ready, Andreas Kostonikolas. So close enough, but sorry if I absolutely butchered that. But yeah, this is not one for the Euro fans. It's a fairly ploddy, semi-folky ballad with sort of goddish undertones. Again, I've used a very British. Why do so many songs sound British in this selection? I don't know what it is. And like Andy Nicolas, I shouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I've the Newton Faulkner. So yeah, if you were in Britain in 2008, you probably know who I'm talking about. It's not a lost cause. This kind of husky, gospel-y, God save me sort of ballad does have its audience. And just a quick reminder that straight people do watch Eurovision as well, and there are plenty of straight people in Greece, so they'll probably be picking up the phone for this one. The specific, I went for a very specific reference here, I think, especially with the sort of the Christian undertones. If anyone's seen Modern Family, this is a cry for help by the drummer from the Christian rock band. It's literally cut and paste that song. I need not say any more.
Nikola, out of 10.
It's a 4 for me.
I gave it a 4 as well. David?
It's also a 4 for me.
Joe?
I'm going to be generous. I'm giving it a 5.
That's 17
It's
points.
never too early for a 5 from Shirley.
Let's continue with Evangelia and Vále. Now, this is a very interesting one because from the moment that it started, I felt like this one is probably going to go big. And then the switch from English into Greek, just like a couple of lines before the chorus, in a way caught me unprepared, but not in a bad way. The chorus definitely stands out as the beat really kicks in even more more than it did in the verses. And it has this epic feel from the moment that it starts. And just before the instrumental part, it rather makes me think this might be a sports anthem rather than anything else. The way that they added these very traditional Greek parts in the second half of the song, it really sticks out. And in my opinion, it feels like it shouldn't actually be there. I love it when they add something very ethnic, very traditional, but I wish that they have done it in a more smooth and kind of I don't know, in more disguised way, rather than it being in your face, as it made the song a little bit messy for me. I don't know. Overall, I expect an amazing performance here, full of energy, lots of dancers, and yeah, I like it, but I just feel like it could have been better. Now David's going to disagree with me, probably, right?
He's been waiting for this.
Yeah, I said it's interesting because this song has gotten a lot of criticism on social media from what I'm seeing from these kind of fans that seem to hate anything that's remotely fun or interesting or up-tempo.
I feel like you're including me in that group now as well.
If you want to consider that yourself, then you think that. For me, it reminds me obviously a little bit of Carnival by Evangelia, right? And I will say the one thing about it is that the criticism that people gave that song was that it didn't represent Albanian culture or identity and didn't sound like her music. It sounded like any World Cup song from around the world. And I accepted that in the Albania video. I said similar, very Jennifer Lopez. This song for me is similar. But what I love about it, in contrast to what you said, Ervin, is the cultural identity. I've obviously Evangelia is no newcomer to the Greek music industry. Her song for Tia a couple of years ago was one of my most played songs of that year. And this really follows that trend. It's similar to her style. It's that smooth entry into a verse, into a more kind of, and then dance section for a dance break for 20 seconds for the final chorus. I don't think that's jarring at all. I think it actually really works. I think it's going to play into what the stage show will be for it as well. And I think what we love about Greece, somebody mentioned that, I think it was Joe earlier, is what we expect. Music is something that we would listen to in a taverna, something that we would like to dance to, something that we would like to enjoy the sun and the heat of a lovely beach or a pool in a Greek island or Athens, whatever. She's a really strong performer. There's countless videos of her performing live places. She's going to put on a show 100%. I think the traditional dance break, similar to what we saw from Marina Sati last year, will be fantastic. And I really like how it leans into Greek cultural identity. I promise people probably listen to this video and just assume that I just like up-tempo female pop songs.
I'm not assuming that at all.
No. My friends criticize me because I'm the guy that likes the ballads, and I'm the guy that likes the male soulful husky vocals, not an up-tempo female. But this one I said I do really, really enjoy, and I think it would be a shame to not have this at Eurovision.
All I will say about this is that I was really worried about the song title, but it turns out that's actually a Greek word that they've transliterated, and then it turned out I was much more on board with it than I thought I was going to be.
Yeah, many people thought it's Spanish, but like, yeah, it's Greek, and song which blends in the category of Pepas by Faruko, if you ask me, together with Carnaval, and then you add a bit of anthemic vibe from World Cup songs, and you get Vále. So it is as it is.
Well, I thought Carnaval and Evangelia could do better. I think that Vále and Evangelia can do better. So I'm starting the voting off with a 7. David?
Is the one to beat in the national final. I'm going to give it a 10.
Joe?
Not quite my one to beat, but it's close. I'm giving it a 9.
Nicola?
It's a 7 for me.
And with that, Evangelia is in the lead as she has 33 points. Barbz is in second place right now, and Dinamiss in third. Georgina, Kalais, and John Vlaseros, and High Road. Nicola?
I mean, an interesting song regarding the music. It's something which I like to listen. On the other hand, I do appreciate the fact that they wanted to go for the James Bond kind of theme and everything. But speaking of the songs which I kind of like less, and the lyrics implementation which was done on the wrong way, I mean, this is a perfect example of it, like many of the other songs from the selection as well. Because how many times can you repeat high road and take the high road and walk by the high road? Yes, like 20 times. Give me all of that. Like, I mean, so unimaginative. I would appreciate, even though I do believe that they were sending and they wanted to send some kind of a message mentioning that too many times, or maybe not, maybe just wanted to fill the void because they didn't know how, in which other way to fill in the lyrics and to convey the lovely music to be brought to the audience, because the music is there. The music is lovely and nice and quite listenable, but on the other hand, when she starts singing, the vocal is also good, but high road, highway, high road, highway, whatever, I really cannot get any other impression about the song except that one. So I forgot all of the other things, and it only sticks in my head, and that's it. Like literally nothing else.
Yeah, I have to agree, and I must add that I normally take the high road, but nothing tempts me more to take the low road than having to endure 3 minutes of this song. I really was not in for the high road after this. Powerful vocals, I'll give it that. I think their voices blend quite well. She in particular has a really strong voice, and I imagine that will translate well to the stage show as well, and maybe it will even be elevated live on stage, right? But for me, I love lyrics. I love the words. The lyrics in this song are not great. They're quite cliche. They're pretty horrific. Yeah, really, really not a fan of that. And for me, that kind of halts any momentum this song has by the marriage. So for me, it's not going to work. And I think maybe this is my own ignorance as a Brit, but if I look at the wider Greek selection, the songs in English largely follow the same theme of just not being very good and the lyrics dragging them down for the most part. I think Sirens is probably the only exception to that, in my opinion. Whereas the Greek songs are all slapping, right? They're all fantastic.
It always sounds less basic if you don't know what they're saying.
Precisely, equally as basic, right? But I don't know what they're saying, and it just sounds nice because the Greek language is beautiful. So, yeah, not really a fan of this. Sorry, I will be opting for the low road.
Out of 10, Nicola.
It's a 5 for me.
I gave it a 5 as well. David?
3.
Joe?
I'm going to give it a 4.
Tied for last. Next up, we have Kostas Ageris with Gimu. Now, Kostas here, he's playing around with his vocals from the very beginning of the song, and I'm not entirely sure if I love it or if it's annoying me a little bit. On the other hand, I don't really feel that like this song is developing into anything for a long time, and it just rather stays linear. The chorus also fails to stand out so much, or any of the other parts of the song. I enjoy the elements of the traditional music, and I actually really do like the final parts, because that's when I feel that the song is finally starting to improve. It improves my overall impression of it as well, and it finally gets pushed, let's say, above average for me. I'll be interested to see like how they're going to stage this song, and like whether the stage performance is going to change anything in my view, or whether it's going to manage to change my opinion or not. But for now, that's it, just above average.
Well, I'm going to take a slightly different approach and say I'll rum-de-dum-dum. I'm going to rave about this song till Kingdom Come, because this is a bit of me. It is not, I hear what you say, it is not ESC friendly. It's not, it's not a Eurovision song, but I don't care. It is exactly what I want on like a Greek Laika playlist. I want to hear this like on the, on the Aegean coast. It is mostly bouzouki, things break, a la Jazz and Sataki, a la basically any decent Greek pop song that you'd hear in a Greek restaurant. But also there is an undertone of modern beats, but in a way that sort of doesn't distract from the traditional element. And yes, the lyrics are quite cliche, and if you are Greek, you will probably be saying the same thing about this that we just said about High Road. But the sound is such a specific, I have a very specific love for this style of music that I think goes back to the 2004 Olympics, because the BBC used to use a lot of these sort of traditional Greek sounds in their links, and I had never heard, I was 7 years old, I'd never heard any music like it, and I always have a twinge of nostalgia for that summer when I hear this kind of music. And I've never been to Greece, but I want to go. I want to be transported there when I hear stuff like this. Yeah, just have a bit of a dance with some old men and just have a great time. And also fully written by the performer. Always a good thing in my books.
I absolutely agree with you, Joe, because of the fact that this song brings so much joy and so much energy and a huge potential for the performance as well, because it kind of invites all of the people to join and to dance. And if you've been to Greece in some time of your life, you know how energetic Greek people are. If you've seen performance, you know that they can dance the house down, and they can all grab, Sirtaki is some of the biggest one there, thousands and thousands of people dancing, and this song brings that energy, and I can't wait, and I hope for the best performance. Huge potential.
I've been to Greece many times, but this was never this particular type of music was never my choice of music. I would always prefer something a little bit more Sirtaki, let's say.
A little bit
Because
more
you don't
rock.
want to dance with older men like the rest of us.
Yeah,
he's dancing with a different kind of older man.
I'm going to kick this off with a 6. David?
It's also a 6 for me, and hopefully an invite to the older men party.
Joe?
10 for the old man.
Nicola?
It's an 8 for me.
And with that, we have Kostas in second place, just behind Evangelia, with 30 points for Kostas.
I feel a bit slutty on this call. I need to turn it down.
There's nothing
Just on
wrong
this
with
call.
dancing with older men. Right.
Well, let's see what we think about the elevator up and down.
Oh, for
performed by
God's
Rikki.
sake. Do we have to talk about this one now?
And Joe, to be nice, I'm going to start with you then.
Thank you. Right. From the sublime to the ridiculous, if ever there was one. I love this. Right. So where do we start with it? So for a start, I'm disappointed this is not Rikki, the Scottish guy who represented the UK in 1987, who apparently, according to you and from that Eurovision site, is not Scottish, which is a scandal, and I want to look into it. But yeah, the song itself, like, Greece is like the sexiest nation in the world, and this guy's like the epitome of sexiness to him is a lift. Like I have never been turned on by the jeopardy of being trapped with people you don't know in an office who all have coffee breath. Like I don't know where the sentiment in this comes from. It smacks of very specific. It smacks of that sort of, and again, it's a British reference because that is the music I grew up with. But it's like the kind of band that was sort of the offshoot of Britpop who tried to cash in on the trend and just wrote like the cheesiest lyric. Like Pete Jacks was, I think, a hangover from this sort of trend. Like, you know, one of my favorite examples of this is a song called Turn It Up by The Feeling that contains the genuine line, "It's a rock and roll disaster like you see in the papers that you read on escalators." Like, you know, again, a mode of office transport. It just doesn't translate into a musical setting. And I think this is a mess. I ironically quite like it. I like that it ends with bing, you know, so that it's a journey narrative. It's a journey in a lift. But once you forget about that, you know, I like the sensation of moving up slightly in an office building. I don't know.
I mean, for me, this song is absolutely abhorrent. I struggle to have words. I'm going to instead evoke a reading to convey my point. Up and down and up. An elevator never stop. Press my button pressing. Keep it up till we are undressing.
So poetic, isn't it?
It's like a sea's bedtime.
The scene makes me feel weird inside. I feel creeped out. I feel highly uncomfortable listening to this song. And honestly, probably one of the worst songs that we've heard at international final for a very long time. I have nothing against Rikki. I've looked up some of his other songs. He can sing great. Please employ better lyricists because this song is creepy. It's just abhorrent. It quite frankly is just abhorrent, and I will leave it there.
Out of 10, Joe.
Giving him the benefit of the doubt because I just think it's a baller move entering a national selection with this kind of song. I've given him a 5.
Nicolas?
For the creepy version of Pharrell Williams music, we are getting a 5 from me. Yeah.
I wasn't as generous as you guys. I'm going to give this one a 3. David?
Yeah, no, it's a 1.
And it's not his first.
I mean, I just
14
didn't
points
pay
for
that
Rikki.
much attention to it.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Let's continue with Klavdija and Asteromáta. Nikola?
Like speaking of the songs with Greek lyrics, with traditional aspects, with emotions, lovely ballads, and everything, this is the one which gives me all of that. And I definitely, and even though the song conveys a lot of pain when she sings it, because you can feel all of the emotions and all of the energy which is trying to convey you in the world which she's singing about. The song gave me goosebumps, and it was so magical to listen to it. So I kind of connected with it in a more meaningful ways than I could even imagine, because as I wanted to check later on the lyrics, the things which I understood right. So I also enjoyed the lyric translation later on, and as I said, I very much enjoy about the Greek music. I enjoy the fact that songs performed bring you joy and also can convey pain, and you can resonate with that. So Klavdija managed to do that very well, and it's a song which I definitely enjoy the most, and I cannot wait to hear her perform the song. And I hope for the stunning vocal will shine, as she's definitely a huge and good singer. Took part in The Voice, and she was incredible there as well. So I do hope for the best, and I cannot wait to hear for the performance.
Well, I'm not as enthusiastic about this as Nicola is, and I'm really sorry, but this is another one of those songs that just sounds a little bit too messy for me. And I feel like it's only starting to get going like halfway through the song. Like I like the second half a lot more than I like the first one, as I feel like it has some more life in it, and the beats in that part are like well in place. But I feel like this is gonna need one hell of a stage performance on the night. Otherwise, I feel that like this is not really gonna go anywhere. Nicola, out of 10.
10.
Wow. For me, this is a 6. David?
I'll give it a 9, and also shouting out to her incredible song called Lonely Heart years ago.
Joe?
Oh, nice. I love it when we get a little tidbit about an artist, support new artists and everything. We love that. So yeah, I get more Olympic feelings from this one. This is getting a 9.
Well, Claudia scored then 34, which puts her into first place, ahead of Evangelia, who's now in second, and Kostas Ageris in third.
Sorry,
Have a new
Evangelia
leader.
is second. What?
Yes,
Who tanked her? Oh, was it you?
I
Obviously.
gave it a 7,
Oh,
and
That's
so did
surprising.
Nicola.
If Irvin's given a song like that a 7, to me that speaks volumes. It's actually a fucking great song.
That's crazy. I thought that got higher, but I'm probably misremembering.
Let's continue with Play It, which is performed by, if I pronounce this correctly, Xannova Xan. I have no idea. Joe?
Honestly, who cares? It's not Swedish. Oh my God. I read as soon as I read the list of songwriters for this, I just let out an audible sigh because I knew I was not going to like this. This is exactly what a Swedish writer, and you know who you are, thinks Greek music is. Just throw in a reference to every Greek god in existence, and then add a traditional flute on the top, and then maybe one token Greek word so that at home, And interestingly, hilariously, the word they've gone for is pame, which is basically vamos. Like, if you want to say, like, what you want this song to sound like, so just say vamos. Like, there is no heart to this song. It's just another woman that a Swedish guy from a songwriting camp has put in a leotard and asked to throw some shapes to a Hispanic drum beat. It is kind of song. I know this is exactly what some people want from Eurovision, and fair enough. I'd say put it on at Eurofest and it might get, half the room dancing about, but like, hear the sound when I play you like a drum. Like, this song is basically, it's Bang Me by Tia Coffee from Eurobeat the musical. Like, what are we doing? Hit on me like a timpani. Like, what are we doing? Why? Just stop it, Peter.
Immediately after I started to listen to the song, I was like, Effendi, we found your lost sister. Like, let's make a duet like together with her, because it's copy-paste of Mata Hari and Cleopatra, like all together mixed with a song. I mean, I literally had the same impression. And of course, the fact that, as Joe mentioned, the lyrics are just putting up some random Greek gods, like just to make it a bit Greek. I mean, that's not how you make a song more Greek. You make it by the traditional music and traditional instruments. And the song is too generic and too bland and too soulless. Like, definitely, it just doesn't bring anything to it. On the other hand, the fact that it reminds me on Mata Hari and Cleopatra kind of gives a bit of a nice vibe, because okay, let's do a bit of Eurovision nostalgia and then go for those kind of songs which I like to listen. I mean, maybe not that much, but they were good. But and speaking of pame, like, I, even though as it's one of the words which I most of the time use from Greek language, pamelada and all the other stuff, because like, let's go Greece, I actually don't remember hearing that word. So good at Joe. I don't remember hearing that in the song, because I don't know, maybe I was too confused by the fact that I was listening to Effendi's Lost Sister all over again. So definitely, I really like, I don't know, like that's the main impression I had of the song. And
Well, maybe that is the thing. Maybe they've just made it up. Maybe she is phonetically saying vamos.
Well, let's score it out of 10. Joe.
Starting this off with a 3. Vamos.
Nicola.
It's a 5 for me.
Justice for Effendi. She's way better than this song. For me, it's a 4. David.
I'm going to give it a 6 because these lyrics are fantastic. Bet you know I'm a keeper. Suck it up. I want to see you go deeper.
Bang me.
Like, they're fantastic. Quite frankly, 6.
18 points. And last but not least, we have another duet, Konstantinos Christoforou and Kostas Karafotis with Parádeisos. David.
I love Greece. I just love Greece. And this is what that song makes me feel. It evokes just me. I just want to run down the street shouting Opa 100 times because, quite frankly...
What have we told you? No Ouzo before lunchtime.
I just love this song, and it encapsulates what I love about Greece. 2 happy men, older men, as we've discussed already on the call, just singing their hearts out. Their voices blend beautifully together. I don't understand the words, but it feels empowering. It feels painful. It feels emotional. It just feels a lot of things, but with a happy optimism about it as well. And I'm a big fan of just these kind of balcony type ballads. Really like it. I think it won't win. You never know, actually. In Greece it could end up winning, but I don't think it will. But I will be enjoying the 3-minute performance, and I hope that the 2 singers have the time of their life because it's a great addition to the national selection.
Surprisingly, I actually agree with most of the things that you said, because I love that this is like so traditional, and I love the way that they incorporated the bouzouki and like how much it complements the melody and the music in this song. And like we all know how Konstantinos sings. Or at least I don't know how Kostas Karafotis sings, but I'm in a way sure that like they're gonna sing this song perfectly. But I'll be looking forward to seeing how they're gonna stage this, because I'm not entirely sure like what I can expect from the stage performance. I love the studio version. This is actually my personal favorite in this Greek selection, and I really hope that it does well. With the right stage performance, I wouldn't rule it out from winning either.
It's a song definitely which would be popular among the Serbian audience as well, because I'm 100% sure that we can expect someone from Serbian artists to copy the song because we are famous for doing that so as well. So like, it speaks volumes with the music and everything, because Serbians are all up for those kind of songs, and it's a good one. Definitely, I love the music as well.
I was going to say it's the sort of song that reminds you that Greece is a Balkan nation.
Yeah. Out of 10, David.
7.
Joe.
8.
Nicola.
For me, it's an 8 as well.
I'll give it an 8 as well. And that gives them 31 points, which is enough for 3rd place. Klavdija is our winner then, with 34 points. And in 2nd place, we have Evangelia with 33. That was basically our own thoughts and opinions. But now, who do you guys want to see the most in this national final? Who are you most looking forward to seeing? And like, who do you have high expectations from?
I'm not going to whittle this down to just one. I'm sorry, Ervin, but Evangelia, Klavdija, and Sirens by Barbz are 3 fantastic songs. And Greece they should bench them and save them for next year and the year after, because they're 3 fantastic entries. Can't wait to see it unfold.
I mean, I'm most looking forward to seeing Konstantinos and Kostas, because I'm genuinely interested to see like what they're going to do on stage. And at the same time, I don't know, like I'm also looking forward to seeing Evangelia, because I expect her to bring a whole bunch of energy on that stage, more than anyone else. So if that looks the way it should look on stage and it sounds as amazing as it should, then yeah, she'd be up there for the win.
I have two requirements.
I made
One,
David happy.
Hey, so sorry, I talked over your
I'm going to
happiness.
blush
Sorry.
in a moment. So
Okay, anyway, I have two requirements. One is that Kostas Ageris brings the whole taverna to the stage, and that two, Rikki brings the whole Paternoster lift to the stage. I want to see him go over the top and fall over.
I thought it like you were going to say that you hope that Rikki's going to bring the lift on stage.
Oh, no, specifically the one in Sheffield Arts
Yeah.
Tower, because it's very cool.
I'm very excited for the performances of all the top three, which we had like after the scores have been held up. So is including Yimu, because I think those four songs are maybe having the biggest potential to be performed well, and also I'm very much excited for the song itself and for the artist and for the energy to be shared with the audience, because I do think that it can grow immensely when it's performed well, especially for those four songs.
Well, let us know, guys, in the comment section down below what you think about all of the Greek entries, which ones are your personal favorites, and which ones you're most looking forward to seeing on stage in the live show. Also, subscribe to our channel to be completely up to date with all of our upcoming videos. There's going to be a whole bunch of interviews with artists competing in their own countries to represent them at Eurovision. There's going to be other review videos such as this one, and we're preparing some other type of material for you in the build-up to Eurovision. Thank you, Nicola, Joe, and David for joining me for the Greek review, and we're going to see all of you very soon with our next video. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Ciao.
Mizuki.